What influences major crypto moves in this market? Well, if you guys been following my channel, you guys definitely know the answer to that, which is basically Bitcoin. That is still the driver of this crypto markets, and when Bitcoin moves, that is going to affect your altcoins. Right now, I've been talking about Bitcoin has just started its bull cycle since it broke above its all-time highs, previous all-time highs at about 110K, right? So, in my opinion, there's still a lot of room for Bitcoin to go in this bull cycle, given that it holds above this 110K level, which means that the altcoins are gonna have a lot of room to run. I showed you guys a altcoin chart, which is total three, showing that the altcoins are barely just getting started, okay? And it's very important that Bitcoin doesn't dump, right? So we're gonna be talking about that more later in this video. We're gonna be talking about a few altcoin setups and their updated price targets as well, which will include Degen, Tars AI, as well as the ANKR network token, ANKR. See what's happened in these markets since the last time I've talked about it. Update their price targets if necessary. And if there's anything that we should be expecting for those markets as well. Now, before then, we're going to take a look into some major crypto news here that could affect the markets. So let's go ahead and go into the news first before going into the charts. Okay. So this one is by ZY Crypto. Spot Bitcoin ETFs finally snap 4-day outflow streak with 91.6 million inflows. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, $91.6 million inflows. But I guess, I don't really study the ETF inflow and outflow data much. I just hear it from these headlines. I find some correlation with the price action sometimes, but overall, it's not a major indicator that I look at. You guys know that if you guys paid attention to my channel, that I am a big TA guy, right? I believe in what I'm seeing on the charts, and I pretty much live and die by it. Okay. So this is, this is good to know. It snaps a 4-day outflow streak, but 91.6 million doesn't sound like it's a lot. In this crypto markets, that's like the size of a small cap altcoin. Okay. All right, let's go to the next piece here. It's by Cointelegraph. Bitcoin sees Bollinger Band's head fake with 117K. Bulls next target. I don't really look at the Bollinger Bands. Instead, I look at the RSI. I think that is a alternative to Bollinger Bands. And I have been using the RSI for the past 5+ years. It's been very simple and effective. I don't see a head fake on the RSI here. At least for the daily time frame, which is the time frame I am paying most attention to right now. But a lot of people do use the Bollinger Bands. Let me know if you guys use it and what you guys see in the comment section below. I don't really see it as a head fake here. I still see a bullish consolidation pattern. Bitcoin is still at a key resistance right now on the daily time frame. If it gets past this, there's going to be quite a bit of upside for Bitcoin and, of course, the altcoins. Now, of course, everything I'm saying here is just my opinions and not financial advice. I am long on Bitcoin and quite a bit of the altcoins here, so my opinion on this market is still bullish. I'll let you guys know if I change my opinions, of course, and why. Now, this is by next piece is by Crypto Potato. Massive Bitcoin price prediction by Arthur Hayes calls for Bitcoin at 250K. Now, Arthur Hayes has been kind of all over the place, right? I know he's probably still a Bitcoin bull, but remember last time I read you guys a piece about Arthur Hayes about how he said about Bitcoin could dip down to 100K. I mean, I'm not ruling 100K out of the cards, but we have a lot of moving averages that is coming up as support for Bitcoin. So I think 100K is gonna be a little bit of a long shot. I think 250K is definitely within the cards for this bull cycle. So these are just my thoughts right now. Okay. Next piece here is by Crypto Potato, 120K Bitcoin bought on the dip as Bitcoin price hit 116K. I am looking for a dip to actually buy right now. I am looking for a short term position to get into, because I think this is more likely going to be breaking out to the upside here. I've been talking about this falling wedge pattern for the past couple of days, and I was expecting this pattern to go higher because I wasn't. I mean, it just didn't look like from yesterday that this was gonna double bottom, right? We had a higher high and higher low, right? And when you hold a higher low, I would expect a higher high, which we are seeing within this pattern right now. I am looking for a dip to buy here on a shorter time frame. For a altcoin position, probably a bigger altcoin position, for a short term profit here, right? So this is basically what I'm seeing daily time frame. If Bitcoin actually breaks out of this falling wedge here, which is a very common pattern, you guys should definitely train your eyes to see. Very simple and effective. Usually tells you the price action is going to break out to the upside. If it does here, the price target for Bitcoin is right underneath 125K. If it breaks out by this point, of course, price targets are estimates only. There could be more or less. Very much depends on how the market is. But I am right now still very bullish on the markets. Right now, Bitcoin is also diverging from the stock market. As you guys can see, Bitcoin is up over 1% today. ES1 exclamation mark, which is S&P 500 futures, actually down. So that is looking pretty bullish for Bitcoin at the moment because they usually correlate. All right, let's go ahead and let's go to some altcoin talk here. Okay, total three, right? I've been talking about this chart. This is basically altcoin charts excluding Ethereum. Very important to be paying attention to because this has held a previous cup and handle breakout here at about $960 billion. And why is this chart important? Because it tells me the overall direction of altcoins, excluding Ethereum, right? Of course, it's gonna fluctuate between individual altcoins, but this tells me at least the overall direction, and the overall direction of altcoins, it's looking pretty good right now on this daily time frame. Now, I've been pointing out this altcoin chart on the monthly time frame, and how I think that this altcoin season, it's barely just getting started because this is the monthly time frame, right? And we have a huge cup and handle here. We're still trying to break through the previous all-time highs here, even set in back in 2021. Okay, so this is why I think the altcoins have a lot of room to run because we haven't even broken you know past previous all-time highs yet. Now let's go to altcoins here. Okay, see what's going on with altcoins because I know that's what you guys are here for, but I never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of what Bitcoin is doing because if Bitcoin dumps, these altcoin setups are not going to really matter. Okay. All right, let's first go ahead and take a look into Tars AI. This is TAI USDT. See what has gone on in this market since the last time we have talked about it. So this is Tars AI on the daily time frame. I think last time we talked about it on the 3-day time frame, where this bigger falling wedge pattern, right? It broke out of this bigger falling wedge pattern on the 3-day time frame. And the price target was about 13 cents for Tars AI, which is still a pretty big target. It broke out, right? And then it didn't do anything for quite some time. But this breakout here is still valid because it's still above that upward trend line of this falling wedge pattern. Okay. So still valid breakout. So this is still a valid price target at about 13 cents. Now, let's take a look into the daily time frame. I just want to mention that, for falling wedge breakouts, it's not uncommon to see a breakout happen and then the price action just continues falling for a little while, right? Because of a lot of resistance, moving averages that could be resistance, that the price action needs to get above, right? Now, I did also mention that a smaller falling wedge pattern has formed, right, since the breakout of the bigger one there, and that's probably more noticeable on a smaller time frame, right? Probably maybe even a 2 hour time frame, right? Smaller falling wedge pattern, price target, it broke out of here, right? So let's put it on top of this breakout point. It did break out, and the price target was met. Basically gave Tars AI about a 6.7 price target. Now it reached that, right? Went up to almost about 7 cents. What could Tars AI be doing right now? Could it still go towards that bigger target of 13 cents? Now, what happens is if a coin or any market reaches its price target and it consolidates, I would chart the consolidation pattern and see if I can get any more clues on if the coin will continue towards that price target more likely, or will it be more likely to be pulling back. So let's see if there's a pattern here since it has actually reached that price target there. Could this be... No, this is not a falling wedge. Let me see. I'm just eyeing it real quick. It could be, actually. Actually, no. I think the tail end of this pattern is just diverging too much. It should be at least narrowing. Okay. So this is not a particular pattern yet, but it did meet that previous pattern. So let's see if it continued towards that 13 cents. Now, if there's another pattern that arises, I'll come back here and update you guys. But I don't think I'm seeing one right now on a shorter term time frame, just because there's little data. But I think the 13 cents price target is still valid, right? Because we're still above this breakout, this upper trend line. So this is basically what I'm seeing for Thai USDT. Let's go to Degen and see what's happening on this market. All right, Degen. Daily time frame. I talked about this falling wedge pattern. Okay, like I said, it's got to be a pattern, the pattern that you should definitely be just paying attention to. I pay attention to these falling wedge patterns because they're the most common pattern that I spot, right? And it usually tells you after an extensive downtrend that the price action is more likely to break back out to the upside. It usually does, as we're seeing here. Degen, it broke out quite some time ago, back in July. Price target still valid because it hasn't been reached. And the breakout still valid. It's still above that breakout point. And the price target here is going to be about 0.55 cents, right? Let's see if Degen has formed a smaller pattern here so I can get any more clues on what could be happening. This looks like it could be a falling wedge pattern. No, it's not. It is not. I don't see a particular pattern here yet. Probably maybe here. Also, it's not. So no particular pattern here that has formed on a smaller time frame. What it could do is it could potentially form some type of a cup and handle here. This is basically what I'm seeing. What I could be seeing a cup and handle here. If it comes back to the resistance of about 0.5 cents to test this previous resistance. You guys can see that there has been rejections there, indicating resistance at about 0.5 cents, right? If it comes back here and retest that level, this could form some type of a cup and handle, which is still a bullish pattern. It usually breaks to the upside. So that's not formed yet, but that is just my best guess right now on what it could do. So this basically wraps it up for Degen. Let's take a look into DIA, DIA. See what's happened in this market here. Now, it's also very important to notice the moving averages on the time frames, right? On whatever time frames you're looking at, because moving averages above the price action is going to be your resistance, and moving averages above below the price action is going to be your support. Now, this is DIA or DIA. See what's happened in this market since the last time I've talked about it. Since the last time I've talked about it, I mentioned that there was a falling wedge pattern again, and this is the falling wedge pattern. Okay, let me see here. This is still valid. See, we got one swing up. Yep, this is still valid. So, this is a falling wedge pattern. This is the 4-hour time frame for DIA. Let's take a measured target here, which is basically measured by the opening of the pattern, and then you put it on top of a estimated breakout point. Let's just say, for example, right here. That would give DIA a price target of about $1 and just right underneath $1.10 there. So still a pretty decent move if it breaks out and go towards that target. There is going to be quite a bit of resistance above the price action, right? Including the daily 21 SMA, which is upward sloping. Whenever I see upward sloping resistance or moving average that's going to be acting as resistance, it's usually a pretty strong resistance. Okay, that's just based on my own observations. And then when you see downward sloping moving average or downward sloping support, that's usually pretty weak support. All right, so this is basically what I'm seeing for DIA. Let's zoom out a little bit and see if what DIA could be doing on a higher time frame, on a longer term. Right, it could come back up here to retest $1.35 and form some type of a cup and handle here. Still too early to say, right? But this is basically what I'm seeing for these three altcoins and an overview of the crypto markets right now. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any of these coins or any other coins in the comment section below. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.